Alright guys, so the first step in making the train is we need to create a file folder on the desktop for the train. So right click somewhere on your desktop and pick New Folder and name it Train. All of your files have to go in here, otherwise you're going to have a hard time assembling your train. And make sure you name them what they actually are, or it's going to be pretty difficult down the road. So then I open Inventor, and I'm going to do the train body first. I'm going to go Standard IPT, Create. And the train body only has one thing on it that you guys really haven't done yet, and that is a work plane. But the rest of it is just tangents and curves and holes. So, like I do when I start any drawing, I go Home. I open up the origin, and I'm going to draw on the YZ plane, which is the right side view. I'm going to create 2D sketch. And I don't know why it flips itself around, so I'm going to correct that. And I'm going to draw the L shape that creates the body of the train. Now I'm going to dimension. And the overall dimension of this thing is 5.5, 5.5, and it's ginormous. So I'm going to use my zoom all right there, which is the magnifier, and that'll help me out. The height of this front piece is 0.875, and that's buried in those dimensions on the front view there. And the back dimension here, you have to turn your paper over and look at the back view of the train. To figure out what that dimension is, we're going to add the distance from the bottom of the train, which is 0.375, to that largest radius. And Inventor will do the math for you, so let it. Okay, and that's 2.725. And then this dimension here is again on the front view, and it is 1.75. It's kind of buried at the bottom, which is a really bad place for it, but you know. And now we're going to finish the sketch. I'm going to once again zoom all, and I'm going to extrude the entire width of the train. The entire depth, I suppose I should say, is 2. Okay, so there's the L shape. Now I have this cylinder that's kind of stuck on top of it. So I'm going to put a 3D sketch on this surface. It's going to make my life a lot easier. 2D sketch, create 2D sketch right there, and now I'm going to draw a circle. Remember, if you draw a circle and you put the center point on a line, it's going to automatically constrain it there, and that's going to make your life difficult, so don't do that. Draw it like out in the middle of nowhere where you know you don't want it. The diameter of this circle is, well, the radius is 0.75, and I can put star 2 if I don't want to do the math, which is 1.5. From this line to the center point of the circle is 1.375, and again that's on the front view of the train dragged all the way out. And this guy sits in the middle, so we're going to change that to 1. And now if I look at this, see how it's going to connect this circle to this drawing. So I'm going to go Finish Sketch. I'm going to extrude. I'm going to flip the way it's extruding. I want it going that way, but I don't want it to cut. And I'm going to change this to next, so it connects to the back that I've already drawn. Tell OK. And there is the front of the train with the little rounded part on it. Now we're going to do this cutout here. So I'm going to do Create 2D Sketch over here. I'm going to draw a circle. Once again, don't let it touch anything or it's going to make your life difficult. the diameter of this circle is, the radius is 0.5, so times 2 is 1. From the bottom to the center of the circle is 1.75. And from this line to the center of the circle, it's 0.25. So now notice that my circle kind of hangs out, and that's what we want it to do. But if you look at the drawing, it doesn't really look like a circle. It looks like a D. So what do you think that means? It means we need tangent lines. So I'm going to draw a line, and if I get up to the top there, you see how I get the tangent symbol right there? Good. Do the same thing down here. Make sure you get that tangent symbol. And now we're going to trim away this part of the circle. Click on trim, click this, click these little ends, so it looks like a D kind of facing backwards as opposed to an actual circle. I'm going to finish the sketch. Extrude with a cut. Extents is going to be all. Tell it OK. Okay, so now I need to put the arc on the back of this thing. So I'm going to create a 2D sketch down here. But notice how it only turns this part green. I want to be able to use the corners of this up top as well. So I'm going to go to up here where it says project geometry, pick project cut edges. And now you'll see how it outlines everything in green, so I can actually measure to those spots. I'm going to click circle, and I'm going to draw a circle. Remember, don't let it touch something, and don't draw it in the middle because it will always constrain to what you don't want it to constrain to. I'm going to put in the diameter. I know the radius is 2.35, so star 2, let inventor do the math. I'm going to measure over an inch. Again, I'm clicking on the center of the circle. And I'm going to measure from this line up 0.375. That should make the circle tangent at the top, but just to double check, I can click on tangent, I can click on the circle, and I can click on the line. It's going to tell me it will over-constrain the sketch because it's already tangent. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on trim because I don't want this entire circle. I just want the little piece at the top. I'm going to finish the sketch, give myself an isometric view. Go to extrude, click that little part at the top, extrude with a cut. I'm going to change extents to all and tell it OK. So far, so good.